Well, welcome back, everybody, to episode 2 of the BrixCast. I am with my co-host, Aaron. How are you, man?
I'm good, doing good. It's been a short week, but it's been a fun week.
It's been a long week for me, man. Oh, my God. I don't know about you, but I'm tired right now. Today, I was literally a few minutes ago, I was working on the Lego Rivendell set. I'm in the midst of putting that set together, and I love the set, but it's a long build. So
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's taking time. But
It definitely looks
what
like a
have you
fun
been
one.
up to?
I mean, this last week I've kind of just done not too much Lego related. I finished up my flags. That's basically finished now. I just gotta buy the pieces.
So okay, all right. This is very off topic. We're a Lego podcast, but you know what I was doing yesterday?
What were you doing?
I was helping my dad install yet another Tesla charger. So little fun fact is, for anybody who cares about cars, which is probably not a lot of you, but Tesla notably made big international news a couple weeks ago that they dropped all their car prices by like 20%. That's like tens of thousands of dollars off the new car purchase. And so my brother and dad in the same week bought Teslas. And with Teslas, they're electric vehicles. You need you need a charger. If you have a house, you need a charger to make it more practical. And so I've been installing chargers for like the last 2 weeks, and yet another was installed. Me and my dad were working on that, and then it's like an all day affair. You have to wire stuff going into the panel box, and then you gotta make sure it's safe. So you gotta use this aluminum conduit and put wire. It's crazy. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, just like Lego.
Right.
But stuff like that. It just pops up randomly in my life. I love to help out my family. They help out with things when I need it too. So it goes both ways. Same with my friends. Aaron, if you ever need my help, I'm here.
Actually,
for you,
I could use help right now. My room needs some painting, so don't hop on a flight.
Yeah, I'll fly to Germany right now. We'll paint your room together, bro.
I figured it'll be
a lot of fun.
Are you gonna get a Tesla too, or no?
Yeah, so I thought about it. So right now I'm rocking a Toyota 4Runner. I've had that for 3.5 years, and I love it to death because, one, you can fit a lot of Lego in it, and two, it fits my golden retriever dog very well. And if I have friends, if I'm traveling, it's just awesome. If you're into off-roading vehicles like I am, it's just so much fun. And the Tesla's really practical, and it's nice. Yeah, I'm talking more about like the Model Y. It's a nice car, but it would be like
the
a
SUV
size
one?
downgrade. Yeah, that's the like crossover SUV, and so it'd actually be less space than what my 4Runner has. So if I ever got a Tesla, I'd probably get a Cybertruck, only because it kind of looks like a Lego brick. It's just like it's like Legos, literally.
Wasn't the Cybertruck supposed to come out like a year ago?
Yeah, I think it's just gotten delayed. It's supposed to apparently start, like, people will literally get them later this year, I think, is last I heard from Mr. Elon Musk. I follow him on
buying
Twitter
Twitter has made him less reliable on commitments in car terms, but that's just...
yeah. I mean, we can talk about this all day, but,
yeah.
Could you see a Lego YouTuber driving a Cybertruck? Does that make sense to you?
A Lego YouTube? I mean, a YouTuber for sure. I know that plenty of YouTubers order those, but a Lego YouTuber? Yeah. I mean, I think the Lego YouTuber car is classically a Ford Mustang, isn't it?
You see what you did there. I disagree. I think the 4Runner's a better vehicle, but again,
I personally, I drive a Kia Soul, so really my taste in cars is reprehensible at best and disgusting at worst. So I mean, I drive where I'm given. If it gets me to point A to point B, I'm fine. Would I like a Tesla? Sure, but I mean, the cost, even the newer cost, is still it's expensive, obviously. But
no, yeah, they're super expensive.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, they're the price of like high end, top trim, regular gas cars, and I think electric cars are great. But I don't know. Maybe wait for the infrastructure to be built out, then I'd be interested in like 10 years, something like that. As of right now,
part of the reason why I would consider the Tesla, especially now, is literally like 2 months ago, the U.S. government introduced new tax incentives. So you get $7,500 back in taxes which for me, running my own business is a lot of money. Like I definitely get all that 7,500 and recoup it. So even if the vehicle's like $50,000, which is a lot of money, when you subtract that 7,000, then you're at 43, and I think that's around the average U.S. car
It's a good
price
discount.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it really is. So I mean, and the Cybertruck would be eligible too for that discount, because this is that 7,000 that the U.S. government put down. I think it's an incentive program that lasts until, I think I saw 2033, like literally 10 years. So it's not going away anytime soon. So that definitely helps with like the cost per of upfront buying the vehicle. Of course, you save money on gas, which is nice. But right now, gas isn't that bad. Like filling up my 4Runner is only like $45.
Speak for America alone. In Europe, gas prices, I mean, for an American standard, as an American who mainly lived in Texas, where gas is like very cheap, the prices here in Germany are very much shell shocking. I think it's like $6 a gallon type stuff on a regular price.
Yeah,
that's because they have the higher taxes, and it's a whole reasoning as to why there is a large higher price gas here. But I think that the incentives for an electric car are definitely there, and I'm definitely interested in getting one, but maybe not a Tesla.
Yeah, one day Solid Bricks over here will be rocking an electric vehicle one day. I don't know when that day will be. Right now, I'm very happy with my Toyota 4Runner, and I'm gonna keep it for a long time, maybe a couple years. Maybe I'll consider the Cybertruck. We'll see one day. Put a lot of Lego in the back bed. Make my little Lego pool.
Or you could put an ATV.
Yeah, I know there is an electric ATV that can come with the Cybertruck. I'm excited to see once that vehicle finally comes. I'll be excited to see.
It's only been 4 years.
It's gonna take the world by storm. It's a lot of people think it's ugly. My girlfriend thinks it's ugly, and she doesn't want me to buy it. And I was like, it reflects me. I build with bricks. It looks like a couple Lego bricks together. So, anyhow, we should probably get on to actual Lego topics.
Sure.
First up is the BTS Lego set. It actually just got announced this morning as when we're recording this, like the official reveal. I saw it a couple days through the Ambassador Network. I saw some early images, and not gonna lie, the actual, like, coming from the Lego builder perspective, the set looks meh, in my opinion. Like,
very 90s
yeah, I mean, it's almost too simple for my personal taste. And I watched the Dynamite music video, which is what it's based on. That music video has 1.6 billion views, not million, billion, which is, you get a YouTube video with billions of views. I mean, whew, man, that's a big video. And I was watching the video. The set reflects it very well. Reflects the music video. Like, it's actually pretty accurate. The figures look like the not the cast members, the musicians of the boy band, right? That's what BTS is.
Yeah, it's a boy band, a Korean boy band.
Yeah,
they have a fan base called the BTS Army, which,
oh my God.
I mean, this is fully out of my realm. I have no knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard like a couple of their songs, obviously, like became popular in the U.S., but nothing personally attached to the set.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I'd never listened to a BTS song, never even heard it on the radio up until when I watched the music video a couple of days ago, just to understand what the set was. And I thought, so I love the people at BrixCast.com, and I was looking at BrixCast. They had they had the reveal on their website, and with every Lego reveal, they have a little poll at the bottom of the page, and I love clicking that poll. Their followers on BrixCast are like hardcore AFOLs. And so I wanted to see what like the hardcore Lego community had to say about the BTS set. And based on the poll, I think it was like the most like downvoted basically set I've ever seen AFOLs reflect to. They're like, this doesn't interest me at all. It's like 85% was like, I'm never gonna get this. And I thought that was very funny. And
I think it reflects the demographics of Lego fans as a whole pretty well, though. I mean, I'd say with relative certainty that 85% of Lego fans are probably over 18-year-old, or not 18-year-old, men. I'd say 85% is men and the 50% are women. About, I guess. I mean, it's not necessarily relevant, but I feel like the BrixCast poll itself was, of course, going to be overwhelmingly negative towards the set.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. Like, again, I as a Lego fan had never heard of BTS. I don't want to go out there and say that I reflect every single person in the Lego community. Absolutely don't. But from what I could tell, a lot of people don't. It's definitely like a what's the generation before millennials? I guess you're in it. You're younger than
The
me.
one after
I'm
or the
right,
one before?
but the one after, yeah,
So yeah, so
after.
96 to 2010 is Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen Z. So I think a lot of Gen Zers. I feel so old even just saying this right now, but
Boomer.
I'm like right. I literally I was born '97, and so I kind of feel like I get to choose. Am I a Gen Z or am I a millennial? I feel like half the time I feel like I'm one or the other, especially because I'm a YouTuber.
You
It's fun
exhibit a
perspective
lot
for
of
me.
millennial traits, is what I will say.
Thank you.
That's not a
But
compliment.
I don't. Oh, okay, all right, fair enough. Um, but so I try to come with a different perspective, but
I know
I
that
think it's definitely I think it's a Gen Z thing is what I'm trying to say is with BTS.
right. I know that the BTS army, which feels weird to say, but I that's how it's addressed. They're very good at buying things, from my understanding. And I saw some comments on the Lego reveal on Instagram of like
Yeah.
people who I'm assuming are BTS fans defending, that it will sell very well because I mean I guess they clearly have millions and millions of fans. I mean they can do concerts in the U.S. and they have huge popularity in the U.S. and their songs aren't usually in English, which is like it's impressive enough that they can sell like that. Plus, I'm guessing they're
Well,
extremely popular in Korea too.
well, let me give some context. So I think they haven't done too many like brand collaborations, BTS and I guess their label. And the last time they did it was with McDonald's. I don't know, some merch or something with McDonald's, something
It
like
was a
that.
bag.
I'm not.
You got a bag and then a
Oh,
special meal that was like I don't know one of their members' meals or something like that. I don't
well,
know. I don't remember.
apparently McDonald's did not make enough. It like overwhelmingly was like the demand was unbelievable, and so McDonald's like it was just a terrible situation. McDonald's had to like apologize, and like everybody was very upset. There was scalping on eBay for this McDonald's this bag, I guess. And so now I've seen a lot of people today come out and theorize that people are going to go and scalp this BTS set, not because Lego fans are going to buy them, like you just said, this BTS army exists, and they literally buy all of the merch. It sounds like they just got empty, or they just got deep pockets apparently, and they're just going to buy this stuff. And so while it's funny to look at the brick set, voting poll and see that no Lego fan, no like hardcore Lego fans interested in this set, there is a massive appeal to the fans of BTS, and it is a massive fandom. And so because of this, Lego, nobody ever knows how much Lego produces of a set, especially like that first wave. I have heard numbers of like in the hundreds of thousands in a lifetime of a Lego set, which is like 1 to 2 years. But who knows what that first wave is? Maybe it's only like 10,000 units worldwide. And if that's the case, I could see this set selling out day one. It comes out March 1st, 2023. It's $100, 750 pieces. And,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, I could go all day about it. To me, look, my personal opinion, it's a bad value. Again, the reason why you're going to buy this is because you're just a fan of the band. You're a fan of BTS, and you want them in Lego. I could see like a few Lego fans out there who love BTS as well, and it's just best of both worlds. That makes a lot of sense. But majority of who's going to be buying this Lego set are BTS fans, not Lego fans, from what I can, from at least the reactions that I've seen today. And then with that demand from the BTS army, these are gonna I really can't predict if this is going to sell out like immediately within minutes after it launches on Lego.com, or whether it's going to take a couple days, or maybe it never does sell out. Maybe we're all just kind of just speculating a little too much about this. What do you think?
So my hypothesis is a similar, and let me say I think that if it does get scalped, I will be very surprised because since like mid 2020, Lego has seemingly not had too many production issues and has not had a Home Alone set or a clone pack or 501st Battle Pack situation where the first day it comes out it's gone everywhere and then it doesn't come out for like months. They haven't had those production issues because I feel like they've probably figured out their supply chain. But I think that this set's going to parallel the Seinfeld and the Queer Eye set routine, which both sets were not inherently bad and are great targets towards the audience. And I think that comparing Queer Eye and Seinfeld to the BTS fan base is not fair at all, because I'm willing to put money on the fact that the BTS fan base is significantly larger. But I think that if this set doesn't sell out, it's going to be one of the two. It's not going to be in the middle, right? Like, I don't think it's going to be like a good sell. I think it's either going to be horrible or it's going to be gone for like the first few months and you won't see it and then it'll come out again. But I haven't seen too many new sets get scalped on release, at least for the most part. I don't think that there's really any chance of that happening. I'm guessing there's going to be enough online for everybody. And Lego's, are they doing pre-orders for this one?
They're not doing pre-orders, which I thought was probably a mistake given the fan base of the like BTS Army. And I really agree with you, Aaron. I'm leaning on the side that's going to be out of stock for months, and it might even be like a year before you see it on shelves because scalpers will take advantage of this. They'll buy up sets when Lego restocks. They'll buy it up for, into the summer this year, assuming this is as popular as we think it could be. And, it just kind of sucks because, like I said, I don't think it's that good of a set that, like, scalping is worthy of this set. I mean, not to say that I support scalping or anything, but, like, usually scalping reflects...
What set is worthy?
The UCS Millennium Falcon. Do you remember that launch? Everybody remembers. I feel like that
launch. I do remember that launch. That was ridiculous.
That was a momentous thing. Oh, my
God. 2017 memory right there.
Oh, yeah. I remember being on the phone with customer service for hours, standing in front of a Lego store crying because I wasn't actually crying, but I was like deeply emotionally impacted that I didn't get my Falcon that day, that I didn't realize like literally hundreds of people would show up at that store like 7 hours prior to opening. Like I got there like 30 minutes before opening thinking there would be like a line of 10 people, and there was a line of like, the line literally got to exiting the mall, and I was just like, are you kidding me right now? And I don't think that's going to happen with the BTS. I doubt BTS Army fans would go to the Lego store. Maybe they will. I don't know. I'd see it just selling out online, and then maybe like it selling out in the first couple of days. What do you think? Do you think BTS Army fans are going to go out to find out their local Lego store and line up day one and on March 1st for this? I mean,
I think that in America there's a possibility of that, but I feel like overall I don't really see it as I mean, buying stuff online is so easy. How would I go in store, wait, carry it through a half-empty mall because all the stores closed? Like order online, have the postman bring it 4 days later, right? Like it's not a huge deal. I feel like it won't be the UCS Falcon or 501st Battle Pack or Clone Pack levels of selling. We could both be wrong. We could be horribly wrong and really underestimating the buying power and buying desire of this group of music fans. But I feel like from a Lego, I don't see too many people who are unknown of the Lego brand buying the set as their first set, unless they are like a BTS superfan who's buying it strictly for the purpose that it is BTS, so they have an obligation or whatever it is. But yeah, I'm not too sure. It's gonna be either amazing or horrible, and there's no middle ground.
Yeah, and I personally have some FOMO with this set where FOMO stands for fear of missing out. And I think a lot of people might have this once they see it like out of stock after the first day. If again, we're all assuming here that this is going to sell out immediately, and so I'm going to have some FOMO. So I'm personally going to go out and just buy like one copy. I've already put a reminder, February 28th, 10 p.m. Get ready on Lego.com. Just buy the set and just be done. I might not even build it. I might just keep it just so I have it if it becomes such a rarity item. Just because I didn't get a review copy. A lot of my friends in the Ambassador Network did get it. Lego's so weird with sending review copies. A lot of people think that everybody gets a review copy of whatever they want, and it's not as simple as that in the review program for the Ambassador Network, where you tell Lego I'm interested in these things, and it's never a guarantee. So technically, I couldn't get Lego Star Wars sets. They've never guaranteed Lego Star Wars to review to me. They just say, we'll prioritize that, and it's never been an issue. I'd be very upset if I didn't get a Lego Star Wars set to review that they sent to someone else, and that is kind of like an ongoing thing in the Ambassador Network. Again, a lot of people don't know about this. A lot of people probably don't care about this, but it is something that is an ongoing thing in the Ambassador Network of like, why can't we get like all the sets that we request or that we want? And Lego always says, well, we have a budget, and like we have to divvy from that budget and decide what fan bases, what like social channels need it the most, basically. And so Solid Brick Studios will be in very Lego Star Wars focused. I'm usually, and I can say for certain that I am in top priority for Lego Star Wars, but when it comes to like a BTS set, that's probably I'm definitely far down that list because it's not something I've really covered. However, it's Lego Ideas, and what's weird is I just got the Ideas A-frame cabin like last month, but now I don't get the Ideas the BTS set, which is just strange. It's like
I feel like
you never know.
I think it's because I could be wrong here, but I feel like they're probably looking at your audiences, right? And I feel like your audience, which I would pretty confidently say is a core Star Wars based audience, the crossover I don't see as humongous. I'm guessing there's obviously like, that's not the exception, it's the rule. No, sorry. I'm not saying everyone doesn't like BTS, but I feel like the crossover is a lot less than maybe with other creators. So it's not a huge thing, I guess.
No, I'm not butthurt about it. I'm sure some other Lego YouTubers or social media influencers is the name. I don't know. Other Lego ambassadors that got the set for review, I'm sure they'll be very happy with it. And based off the BTS reaction, fun fact about the BTS launch: the teaser image Lego put out a couple of days ago is the most viewed Twitter post Lego's ever posted ever. I think with 11 million views, which is crazy. So that is also what's kind of giving me and others speculation that this will sell out, is because of the engagement rates are off the charts, unlike anything else we've seen. Even with Rivendell, the Lord of the Rings set that just launched or just got announced a couple days ago, it doesn't even match that. And it's so funny, Aaron. We're seeing two completely opposite ends on the Lego spectrum of two big launches. We're seeing the Lego Rivendell, which totally appeals to the hardcore Lego audience that like loves building, loves Lord of the Rings. It's bringing back a fan favorite IP, and so there's so much love within the Lego community. And then on the complete opposite side, we have this BTS set launching where it doesn't appeal to the hardcore fans at all, mostly. And then you have this all new community that's just kind of going to gravitate and buy this up and snap it up. And it's so funny that both of these sets are going to launch within about 5 days of each other.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I think it's going to be interesting to watch, if either sell out. I mean, obviously, I think for both of us, I can say we think Rivendell will sell out more than the BTS set will, but I mean, the 11 million views is nothing to shake your head at. And, I think that we could see some interesting stuff here. I think it'd be very funny if the BTS set sells out and the Lord of the Rings one doesn't.
I think both will sell out. I think both are going to be day one buys for each other's fan base. I think they're both going to be sold out, honestly. If I had to make a prediction right now, they're both going to be completely sold out for months.
I think you got to look at it from a different perspective also. Like, yes, there's a lot of hype around the Lord of the Rings set, but also $500 and $100. That's a large difference. And I think that will be a playing, especially where we're in a recession right now. I don't see Lord of the Rings set selling out right away. I could be wrong. Very well am wrong, probably. I know that there's plenty of people who are willing to drop $500 right away, but I also think there's a lot of people who can't drop $500 right away, which is, I mean, it's the way it is, I guess. I think the price does make a difference too. So I don't think Rivendell will sell out right away, but could be wrong.
So like I said earlier, I am in the middle of building the set right now. I actually got my copy a lot later. Lego forgot to ship it to me, and I had to be like, hey, I need this set for the review. Thankfully, the embargo was kind of set out a little further out, but I have far less time to get my review done prior to embargo than other Lego YouTubers or other, ambassadors who got the set for review. I saw a lot of people got it like a couple weeks ago. I have not had that. Like I said, I'm building it right now, and so thankfully, I talked about this in the last podcast episode. I got to see it months ahead, so I have a lot of my thoughts already wrapped up in my head. So it works out, but so far as I can't talk too much because the review hasn't come out yet, but I am loving this set, man. That's basically what I can say. I'm only like halfway through the build, and my review is going to reflect my review will reflect very positively to this set. And also talking, you were just talking about how my YouTube channel is Lego Star Wars fans. I've been looking at my YouTube analytics and seeing what other, there's actually a tab in YouTube analytics that shows you what your subscribers are also watching, like what they're also interested in. It's not just other Lego Star Wars videos. A lot of it's just general Lego, like the Eiffel Tower or the Harry Potter train. Like it's actually it's really I didn't even realize this, but I have a much larger. I kind of realized this, but now it's clear to me that there is a much bigger Lego audience that I'm accumulating, which is so awesome to see, because you can only like tap into the Lego Star Wars niche audience to such a degree before it's only such a big community as it is right now. I mean, it's the biggest of the Lego communities, but it does have its limits, and so it's awesome to see that I'm starting to appeal to a bigger Lego audience who are interested in other themes. And I think you see that Lego sending me, again, like I said earlier, Lego chooses who they send these review copy sets to, and almost always I get some of these bigger Lego sets like the Eiffel Tower, the Razor Crest, the Hogwarts train, now the Rivendell set, and it's because I at least think I do a good job covering these sets, doing a fair review and giving you my honest opinion about it. And, that has been a big increase for my channel over the last year, is these other big theme sets. I hate also, there's a part of me that's like, oh yeah, and you go spend another $500. And I'll talk about this in my review, because, we've just had so many expensive Lego sets recently, but, so far it's too hard. I feel I like there is a part of me that is guilty, like recommending yet another expensive Lego set, but this is one of the greats, is what I'm thinking right now. And we could talk about it next episode of the podcast once the review is out there. But so far, I'm really blown away with it.
I mean, I understand that you are excited for the set, and like I said last episode, I think that it's cool, undeniably a cool set, great everything, but it's $500, man. Like that personally is just not a fun pill to swallow. I remember back in 2008, obviously I was 7, so it was different, but looking at the ETO2 with dropship at $250 was like a tough pill to swallow. 2009, I'm sorry, but just the spiraling and ridiculousness of Lego pricing now, in my opinion at least, is just, I don't know how sustainable it is. That's why I'm saying I don't think Rivendell will sell that quickly. Again, could be wrong, could be the UCS Falcon 2.0, but I think that we're seeing just so many massive sets that are well over $200, $300, and it's kind of become ridiculous. And honestly, not all of them are great. Most of them are. Firstly, I mean, obviously the Hulkbuster, the foosball table, two horrific
Black
sets.
Panther.
Oh my gosh, the Black Panther set. That is a steaming pile of black bricks that no one wants. And that's all I can say about that. I mean, I've never seen the thing built in anyone's, I've never seen pictures of it, nothing, because it just is so uninteresting and bland and boring. And the Hulkbuster is just laughable. And I mean, what else is there that's horrible lately, the Lego set wise? I think there's,
and in terms of big expensive sets, I think those are definitely the big standouts of last year. We haven't had too many absolutely atrocious sets until those came out. But I've talked to Lego, and I don't know how much I can say about this, but I know they're concerned about, they don't want to overdo it, and I think they've realized that. And hopefully we'll see a course correction throughout 2023, but it might not take effect until 2024 of seeing more balanced 18 plus, adult sets that are more reasonably priced, under, say $300. I feel like in my opinion, anything over $300 is considered ridiculously expensive to the average Lego fan. And
I'd say over 200, honestly.
Yeah, inflation kind of makes that tough though, because I would say 200. I would have said 200 like a year ago, but with inflation, I'm willing to bump that up to 300. So,
it just seems kind of,
it's tough.
It's an interesting place to be in, I guess. And obviously neither of us are economists that can talk about market trends or whatever, and we don't work for Lego's marketing department, or not marketing, Lego's whatever that department is where they decide prices on stuff. But I think that from a fan perspective, and I'm a fan who readily and willingly drops thousands of dollars on Lego a year, for me it's becoming unsustainable, and I never thought that would be possible. That may sound stuck up or conceited, but I used to buy all these massive sets. I'd buy UCS sets when they came out. I'd buy like the Black Seas Barracuda and stuff. $200. It's expensive, but it's justifiable for a cool big Lego set. But I just don't see the inherent value in a $600 or $700, $800 set, unless I'm getting a ridiculous discount. And at that point, I wouldn't see it as a $600 set, right? I just don't. And my opinion might be unique in that sense. I don't think it is, but I feel like it's definitely, like I said earlier, I just don't think it's sustainable, and I don't know how much longer they can keep just putting out. They've scaled back small, affordable sets in a sense that are quality, right? I don't see too many, in my opinion, at least. I guess in Star Wars specifically, good sets that I can walk into a Walmart for $50 and be like, I can pick this up and have fun with it tonight. I don't see too many of those sets anymore. There is sets that cost that much, but are they worth that in the eyes of a consumer? Obviously, higher production costs, higher whatever costs, it becomes, harder for them to make it cheap, but I don't see that type of translation. What I can buy Lego Star Wars wise with, $50 to $100 now is helmets and dioramas. And like, that's it.
You can see where Lego's prioritizing things.
Yeah. And I think that, I read a text from Jay the other day. He said he misses 2012 to 2019 Lego Star Wars, and I cannot relate to that more. I'm thinking back to those years, it's just insane how many under $100, under $50 even, just solid sets we got with good figure selection, decent enough builds, readily available, just overall consistently good Lego sets. And, I don't see that translating in the last 4 years. I just don't. And that's disappointing as a Lego fan, because it's becoming harder to, look forward to new stuff, because there is still obviously FOMO within Lego. And I'm not saying FOMO is part of what makes Lego fun, because it's not, it's horrible. But I think that there's less fear of losing out on something because of how frequently Lego's just coming out with these things, be it expensive sets, redos of sets, or just sets that contain older figures. I'm not too worried about any Lego figure in the last few years becoming expensive and me having to buy it right now. I'm pretty confident in saying, with some exceptions, obviously, I can buy any figure released in the last 2 years for the next 2 years for about the same price that they are now, which you couldn't do earlier. Thrawn's a great example of that. But I just don't think that, I personally don't like the direction Lego's going, and I think Rivendell is just a perfect exemplification of that, personally.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to be fair, Lego has been putting out expensive sets, like the $400, $500, $600, $700 sets, for many years now, for, I don't know, the last 5-6 years, but they're becoming more frequent in the last just year or two. And I'm now realizing as a reviewer, I'm having to change my frame of mindset about like, okay, now I'm thinking I need to basically prioritize. I get all these big expensive sets: Titanic, Razor Crest, Hogwarts Train, Rivendell, Eiffel Tower, all of these sets. I'm thinking now in my head, I'm like, I need to almost create a scale of like, what should the Lego fan prioritize? Like, what is truly the best among these? Because not everybody is going to go out, and actually the vast majority is not going to go out and spend thousands of dollars on those sets that I just named and collect them all. Sure, there's definitely some people out there that'd be me, but majority is going to want to prioritize and just look and be like, what is the best one? And honestly, a lot of the time it just comes down to, and I try to hopefully express this in my reviews, it should be an emotional connection with the Lego set that you're going to spend that much amount of money. You should be damn well passionate about Lord of the Rings to buy that set, or Lego Star Wars set, or the Eiffel Tower. And for me, the Eiffel Tower is like, that is the icon for me, like in terms of architecture. And so I love that set to death, and like that's a prioritization for me, or the Star Wars sets. But everything else would be like secondary, third, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm realizing there's this scale, and I can't always bring in my own emotions. I will with the like Star Wars especially, but I try to give a balanced view and try to think, okay, this is an expensive set. I got to be careful about my wording here, because I don't want to, I don't want people to go out there and spend, $500 on Rivendell only to be disappointed by it. Like, it should meet that expectation of price. It should meet that expectation of, your emotional connection. And so I'm thinking about these things more often, especially given that Lego is frequently putting out these more bigger and expensive sets.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, I don't understand the fact of like, being a content creator, of what you have to do to be, I don't know, watching yourself in that sense. I don't relate to that at all, but I relate to the, I don't know, just the having to have that emotional connection to buy something, right? And I've come to terms with a lot lately. I've come to like not really streamline what I'm buying, but more so condensing what I'm buying down to, what I really, really want. If I really want something, I'm actually going to get it. And I found that it's become a lot better to buy Lego in that way. And, if I have like a tier list almost in my mind of, I know what sets are coming out. This is the ones I want to buy day one. These are the ones I might buy, in a couple weeks if they're on sale. And then these are the ones that I'll buy when they're below 40% off and I find them less than 40% off on sale. And I think that's been a really efficient way to go about buying Lego personally. And I've always found that like, all these just over $200 sets really, these over $200 sets are never even on the list. They're just kind of gone because personally, it's not money I want to spend. And I never find these sets to be worth that type of money. Yes, they're worth in the sense of you get that many pieces, but I'm not finding it's worth like, $500 on this wrap versus $500 on, I don't know, a plane ticket to go somewhere. Because that is like the difference. And that's just, I don't know. It's definitely, like I said earlier, it's becoming frustrating to be a Lego fan. And I don't know if that's a me thing or a, Lego fan in general who doesn't have thousands of disposable dollars in income and also like thousands of feet of space to store all these ginormous Lego sets as well. Because that's another thing you got to think about, the space issue. I mean, UCS Falcon, Titanic, UCS Star Destroyer, UCS Razor Crest, those 4 sets, that could fill an entire bedroom. Like realistically, if you want to have them nicely spaced out. So I don't know where people are storing all these sets too.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, and I don't think you're the only one out there that is thinking this way. I've seen a lot of comments on Facebook forums, on Instagram. I've seen a lot of people talk about this on open forums. It's getting, if you're into the Lego collection hobby, it gets to be too much at some point. And so either A, you have to start making decisions. Am I going to sell some of my old Lego? Am I just going to stop collecting in general? Am I going to only prioritize these type of certain sets? Or am I going to break apart my set? Like, there's so many options where you could go for that. And I hope those, it makes me really sad to see that, like, there's people out there that it becomes too much that they just want to quit, like the collecting, and that makes me sad. And I hope there's a lot of people that don't do that, but I do see it, and there's always alternatives. Like and I also understand you not wanting to sell something, especially if you're emotionally passionate about that. 2007 Millennium Falcon, the OG UCS one, I still have it. I could have sold that years ago, but I kept it. It's still built. It's actually at my dad's house. So that's what I've done, is if I can't figure out a place to store it, I push it over to my family.
I've done that very conveniently with all my flower sets. I've managed to remove all because I love the flower sets. I think they're just fantastic sets in general. I've managed to put them all downstairs, and my mom seems to like them. So that's definitely a nice way to just push the Lego away. I've also secretly put a 2019 10-4 built in a high shelf that she can't see over. So we'll just keep that one there as well and say it's a flower and trick her. But yeah, I find that it's definitely a challenge to go about this collection nowadays with the consistency and also just the way the hobby is, right? I feel like YouTube Shorts are a great example, in my opinion. I don't know if everyone here has watched YouTube Shorts, because I sure as heck have not. But I've watched a couple, and almost all the ones that are targeted to me, because obviously on my YouTube account, I'm watching Lego videos relatively frequently, so that the algorithm knows I like Legos, right? That's a pretty easy guess. I'm finding that, like, 40, 50%, not a real number, but, like, whatever percent of these reels are just, did you know that this Lego figure is worth $3,800, some stupid number like that, right? I just feel that there's so much hyper-focusing on reselling, scalping, and, like, flipping your personal collection, which is okay. I think the reselling part of the Lego hobby is fantastic. I think it's great to be able to buy a product in 2020 and then sell it in 2023 for a profit. That's awesome that the product has that much value in and of itself. The product contains that value. But I also feel like it's polluting our hobby in some sense, because, now there's like an ingrained fear of missing out, which I think we touched on earlier. And I think that that's just horrible. I mean, I think that FOMO is just nothing great. I think that, it's just toxic, which, I mean, I could be alone in this opinion. I know there's plenty of people who love the reselling aspect of Lego, but the value that some of these figures are fetching now, especially the old ones, I understand the value. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be this expensive. I'm just saying it's kind of ridiculous how quickly the Lego bubble has inflated, and I can't help but wondering, will it burst, right? And I feel like Lego releasing all these sets isn't helping.
Yeah, no, I agree. But Lego, they're a business at the end of the day. So if they see an opportunity to make money, they're going to try to make it. And, it's we as consumers, you got to vote with your wallet. You got to tell them we're not going to spend I'm not going to spend $500 or, $1,000, whatever the set is. You vote with your wallet. You tell Lego, that's just too much. And right now, there's enough Lego fans, I guess, out there that are spending this amount of money that they continue to justify making these sets, that they're, making these bigger pushes towards the adult audience, specifically with the 18+ sets, the icon sets, more expensive icon sets. So, we'll see in the future. Legos is kind of slow to react sometimes to, what the trends are. It takes them like a year or two before you see their product strategy change from what it is currently. So, we just got out of 2022, which had some of the most expensive Lego sets ever released, and so we won't
and
really
some of
see
the worst, most expensive Lego sets.
Yeah, and some of the best in my opinion. I love that.
I would
Tower,
not
man.
say.
I love that Eiffel Tower, Aaron.
I don't know, man.
I look at it every day. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm emotionally connected to it. But
which means you love it. But I mean, I don't know about everyone else. That's just
I sometimes look at the Lego.com reviews, and I always wonder, did I review this set too positively? And I go to check on the Lego.com. I'm like, no, everybody actually does like it. I'm like, okay, all right, we're good.
The build seems like I'd want to die at the end of it, personally speaking.
So this was a topic for later in the podcast, but you just brought up YouTube Shorts. I kind of want to just touch on that. YouTube Shorts is becoming a lot bigger now, specifically because on the creator side, YouTube early this month, just like 2 weeks ago in February 1st specifically, they launched monetization ability on YouTube Shorts, and it's the first, ad-supported short platform payment system, if that makes any sense. Basically, I don't want to go all day about this because like lots of people don't care about it, but TikTok and Instagram, they have this pool of money that just gets shared between all creators, whereas YouTube's method is you're actually getting to split the actual ads that are being watched between the shorts. And so it's, in theory, you should be getting paid a lot more than on Instagram Reels or on TikTok. And so and I've seen this in the last 2 weeks, there has been a massive influx on my subscription feed of YouTube Shorts from creators that I've been subscribed to over the last couple of years. And I'm sure there's a lot of TikTokers also jumping ship to try YouTube Shorts. I don't know what the trends are, or the numbers are right now. We won't know for another couple months, but there's definitely an uptick on shorts. It's becoming bigger because of this new monetization that YouTube launched. And I myself made a YouTube short on February 1st, same day that this new money rolled out, because I wanted to see. I've only made one before this, and that was actually Jay's Starkiller Base. That was my very first YouTube short because I was there. I helped him out for like a couple days. And I made a YouTube short about it, and it went pretty viral for a short. It got 800,000 views. But I made it short, Aaron, and on February 1st, it was about like buying 1,000 Lego bricks. Is it cheaper to buy it through Pick-a-Brick online, or is it cheaper to buy Pick-a-Brick at the wall at the store? And it was a minute-long short, and it has blown up. It is crazy how fast viral videos can happen with shorts. And it's just like TikTok. TikTok can get millions of views in a matter of days. And it's the same case that I'm seeing with YouTube Shorts. And so I'm gonna I'm very careful right now. I don't want to influx a bunch of just half-made shorts. Like, I actually want to give thought to it, and make it something interesting to watch. And I think that's why this Lego brick thing. People are always interested in how to save money or just like want to know something. So those type of videos always do well in the shorts category.
How many views does it have already?
So right now it has 800,000. So it's already almost bigger than my last one. And Okay, but here's the funny thing is, so 800,000 views on YouTube, that sounds like a lot. That sounds like, and it truly is a lot. It's a viral video, or just about, I feel like a million views is equivalent to, well, maybe 10 million views on YouTube nowadays. But to me, a million views is pretty viral in my eyes. And so because of that, I was expecting, a decent payment output. And you know how much 800,000 views for a YouTube short with this new monetization is? And we're 2 weeks into February. So how much do you think I've made off that video?
$25.
Actually, more than that. $50.
Oh, really?
Is how much? Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, $50.
Yeah, $50 for 800,000 views. And so that is better than what I could have made on Instagram Reels or TikTok. So I will give YouTube that. But obviously, if you're a YouTube creator, like literally, that's like a tenth of what you can make off. Like if you had a regular YouTube video that's like 8 minutes plus long and you got 800,000 views, that's about a tenth of what the longer video could have made. And
but also it's a tenth of the work.
That always fluctuates between creators. It might be a fifth or an eighth or a 20th. It all depends on the creator. It depends on their viewership and watch time. There's so many factors to YouTube videos. But so far, I'm seeing that it is probably equivalent to an actual YouTube because shorts can only be at most 60 seconds. So if you made, 10 60-second videos of 10 minutes, it's probably equivalent to a 10-minute YouTube video if you're getting, on average between 500,000 to 1 million views on each short, it can equal out. My point being here is like time spent on a short, as long as it's like far less than what you would spend on a long-term YouTube video, it could in theory be a sustainable business model. But honestly, I see the shorts. I see a lot of TikTokers and Reels content creators switching to YouTube Shorts, not because of the shorts making more money. They're really not making that much more money than what they would probably make on TikTok or whatever. I think the appeal is much bigger than that. I think the appeal is that when you subscribe, when you see a YouTube short and you hit the subscribe button, you're not just subscribing to that YouTube short, you're subscribing to the YouTube videos that they also make, the longer videos that make a lot more revenue for that creator. And so I think that's the bigger appeal, is that you can capture a much bigger audience because you're appealing, you're getting 800,000 millions of views on YouTube Shorts. You're getting people to subscribe. And I'm already seeing this with other Lego YouTube content creators, is that they're using shorts to create an audience that then they can make longer form videos and grow that as well. And I think that is the bigger picture here. I am speculating. TikTok could, again, continue to just dominate. But in the long term, that is my theory, is that we'll see more people switching over to YouTube Shorts because they can convert. And this is nothing new. We saw back in the days with Vine, we saw a lot of Viners when we knew the platform was going away, a lot of major Vine influencers, they switched from Vine to YouTube. It's always going back to YouTube because that's the best platform to be a content creator, to actually make a living doing this is through YouTube. And so I think that's, a very interesting. I just wanted to talk about that. I know probably a lot of you out there don't care about this, but I thought it was interesting. And so I think a lot of you are going to see a lot more. I know I'm going to be making more YouTube shorts, not super frequently, but definitely more than just the two that I've made so far. Not just to, get $50. That is not my goal. I think to grow an audience on YouTube, to grow your audience further than, what it currently is it's a great way to do that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I can't I can't say I really related to anything you just said, but I'm sure that I understand why it's important, and I think that you should definitely work on growing your audience. I feel like that's definitely a good move and direction for your channel to go.
I know I just went on a tangent there, but I'm just saying that I think you're going to see this with a lot of other Lego YouTubers, is you're going to see YouTube Shorts a lot more frequently, and I think the reasons I just explained, I think that's why you're going to see that.
Right, and I think that we're on the topic of YouTube. If you want to just quickly talk about the podcast in general and that stuff, we want to.
We never even talked this at the beginning. So we have the BrixCast YouTube channel. That'll be the main home for the podcast. Episode 1 will be launched on Solid Brick Studios, which launched today, as well as episode 2. They're launching at the same time, but on different channels. Do you want to go more into it, Aaron?
Yeah, so basically, David threw out a poll on his channel asking, what we would want to do. The poll voted, like, majority, I believe it was, to post on the main channel everything, but I think
I'll look it
that
up.
David decided. I think David decided for, it's his channel, obviously. I'm just kind of, I'm here. But, like, his channel is obviously his decision in the end. And I think that it's probably the right decision after I spoke to some more people, too, that, not flooding the inbox of your subscribers with this podcast if they have no interest in it at all, which is definitely understandable, and I think that's why a second channel is a good idea. So we've taken the Solid Brick Studios alt channel, a historic place full of beautiful David content from 9 years ago. Really solid stuff, solid bricks, if you will, solid stuff there, and we've made that the BrixCast channel, which is what our podcast name is going to be. We're still working on a logo. We're still working on, and if you guys hear any, like, editing kinks or anything like that, or have, questions about, I don't know, the video that we end up having here, because we're not entirely settled on that yet, but we're probably going to just do B-roll, let us know in the comments if you have any suggestions to improve that, or improve anything we're doing here. But yeah, we're going to make it on the BrixCast channel, and we're posting the first episode on his main channel just to show his audience that it exists, and I don't think anyone's going to be angry over a single episode. If they are, then sorry. But yeah, so we're going to put on the second channel and just kind of go from there. Maybe we'll even make some shorts of clips from the podcast, get some extra engagement. I don't know.
I think that's a great idea. I think we should make some YouTube shorts out of the podcast.
Oh, wow. You sound real excited about that one.
I think there's high potential there. I'm a YouTuber first, Lego content creator second, I guess. I don't know. No.
I'm a person first.
I'm a person.
Yeah.
You're a podcaster first now, Aaron.
I don't know about that, but
yeah. To go to the poll, I'm looking at it right now. It's 33% said it should be on a dedicated secondary channel. This is out of 6,000 votes, and 67% said to put the podcast on the main channel. But in the comments, I did see a lot of people, like you were just saying, Aaron, being concerned that it'd be too much for those who don't care about it and all that. So I think having the podcast, you can literally hit the subscribe button on the podcast channel, and that that shows you want to hear it every week. And I think that makes a lot more sense than when you hit the subscribe button on Solid Bricks, more or less you're hitting the button because you like my mock series or the reviews or something else that I did Lego related, and that's the reason why you subscribe. Not because maybe you want to hear the Lego BrixCast podcast, but more or less, it's probably not. And so that's one of my biggest concerns.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to put it. And I think that overall, it's just, I think David also said we're going to probably try doing a community post to the podcast in it when we launch it, which I think that's more than enough. I feel like, not destroying, but like changing the continuity of your uploads, although relatively infrequent in a sense, it would disturb your main channel, I guess. And I think that you should focus more on producing more content for your main channel that is targeted at your main channel, because I think a lot of people will be really interested in that, David.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Aaron, if you guys didn't know, Aaron, well, probably nobody knows, but Aaron's a very big advocate about getting me to do stuff, especially when I'm just like maybe doing a little bit too like cookie cutter stuff. He's like, David, you could do this. And I'm like, you're right, I can do this. And a lot of times,
and
honestly,
then he still refuses.
No, he's been pushing me, and I've been experimenting more with my content lately.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? Official announcement right here: Solid Bricks Vlogs is coming back. We're gonna make a comeback. We're gonna bring Heather back for the third time.
No,
I think that it's really a necessary step for the channel to take. Solid Brick Studio Vlogs coming right back at y'all with those 35-second videos standing outside somebody's house holding your underwear. That's what YouTube's all about, right? Sub 1 minute videos of you and your friend making loud noises. That is just it's peak YouTube in my opinion.
If I brought back the vlog channel, it needs to be it's not going to be called Solid Bricks Vlogs. It would be something. I'd need to create a new name.
I think daily vlogging is dead as a concept, personally.
Daily vlogging, yes. Weekly vlogging, I think, is sustainable. It's an idea I've thought about bringing back for many years. I think the last time I did a vlog was like 2014. So that's it's also almost 9 years ago.
I think the name of the vlog was "I'm Back," which was just a lie.
It was a lie. I'm sorry for those of you who thought I was back and making more vlogs, but I decided to actually focus on school and then college and then
What a
life
nerd.
stuff, and then now I'm growing my main channel, and it's blown up, and it's growing a lot faster than I was thinking that it ever would. And so now I'm dialing in even more on YouTube, and so it's been a crazy 9 years since that I'm back vlog. But that's something for another day. I don't want to go on for that.
Yeah.
There still is some more Lego news. We can probably punch to these pretty quick, Aaron. So the next thing was the Disney Up House was announced. There's supposed to be a bunch of 100-year Disney Celebration Lego sets throughout this year. Hopefully, a lot of people are speculating we'll get some type of like Disney Castle, like big, maybe another $500 set. The last Disney Castle was $350. I hope not. But this was affordable. I don't know what it launches at.
Yeah,
but
I think
it's up. It's the iconic house with the balloons. It comes with the characters you'd expect. I'm just excited that it comes with Doug the Golden Retriever. I'm just getting the set just because I want a Golden Retriever figure. I know Lego also makes it like a regular Golden Retriever, but like Doug, it would more reflect my dog River. So I am unbelievably excited for that set. Not even for the house. I love the movie Up from Pixar, but I just
sad but great movie.
Very sad, but
it's a gut punching one.
It's up there as one of the best Pixar films. So like finally getting an Up house. And like they're not like Friends minifigures or anything like that. Sometimes with the Disney property, especially the Disney princess sets, they're using the mini dolls and not the minifigures. And so it's awesome to see like Pixar sets with minifigures.
And it's such a good price too. I mean, I think it's like $50. You get the mainline cast and the house build. $50. I don't think anyone's gonna complain about that. I think that's a really fair price. And honestly, bring back to the BTS topic. I think that this set will be sold out.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like again, I still think BTS and Rivendell are going to be sold out sets. I think the Up House would sell out within a matter of days, not immediately. But for me, this is, I don't know about you, but this is absolutely a pickup. I don't know if it's a day one pickup, but I will absolutely get it in the coming months.
This is an on sale 35% off pickup for me.
Okay. Respectable.
I don't know. It's not like high on the list, but it'd be cool to have on the shelf,
You know what's a on sale 50% off set for me? Maybe not even 50. It would have to be like 70%. The Ant-Man construction figure that was announced.
That's a 90% off purchase for me right there, man. that is a pay me to take it out of your store purchase, right? Like that is just they gotta stop. They are just spitting on the grave. First of all, they did it first to DC. They spat on the grave of Lego DC, and now they're doing it with Marvel. I'm sorry. It is just the Hulkbuster, the Black Panther bust, the Wakanda Forever sets. I'm sorry, what type of travesty were those? That weird black triangle? Like, horrible, horrible, horrible. This set now, what are they doing? I don't know who is in charge of Lego Marvel and Lego DC, but they are just, I don't know.
I'm happy the set's brick built. It's not using like Bionicle pieces like the Star Wars construction figures from back in the day in like 2015 to 2017. The only construction figures from the Star Wars era that I still have that I thought were some of the best was Commander Cody Episode 3, because it was hilarious that was the only Episode 3 version of Commander Cody that we ever got. But honestly, I thought the General Grievous contraction figure was like amazing, and I still have it together, and I think it looks so good. It was like one of the few that I thought was like really, really good.
Are you telling me you did not like the Baze Malibus construction figure? The really? Or the Shirut Imwe? Or the Rey? Or the Jin Ursa? Nah. Those were day one buys for me back in the day. $25 a piece for those pieces of garbage. Oh. Those were great. I mean, no, all seriousness, no, I don't, for people who don't know, which I'm guessing is all of you, I'm a pretty big fan of Bionicle as a concept, not necessarily the community, but that's not important, but I like Bionicle a lot, the story, the pieces, what it did for Lego, and I liked some of the buildable figures. I just never really bought them. I think now the Death Trooper, Boba Fett, Grievous, like you said, I think those all look really good. If they have a helmet on, perfect. If I have to see that face, horrific. And there is no middle ground,
Yeah. Oh,
and
my God, dude.
If Lego starts doing this with Marvel too, it's not going to go well. I mean, the Iron Man figure was meh, the $40 buildable one. This Ant-Man one, I'm going to give it a resounding meh as well, because that seems to be the grade for any Marvel set in the last year. It's disappointing to say the least.
the Guardian, the orange Guardianship, not the new one. They also just announced. The orange one was really good. The
the
one we
Benatar.
see the
Okay,
Avenger.
now I will say
Yeah, that
that
was
is
that was a
that
really
was a
good
day
set.
one buy.
Yeah.
That was a day one buy for me, and I have it on my shelf behind me right now, and it is a stellar set. I mean, that's probably the last amazing Marvel set we got, but yeah, I don't know what direction that theme's going in.
I think
it's just not great.
I think we did get a great Marvel set in 2022 that was the Sanctum Sanctorum. I thought that was an amazing set, actually. The figures could have been a little better, but the set itself was extraordinarily good. I thought it was fantastic.
They just kind of they phoned it in with the fig. I feel like they really could have gone all out. They could have done like a Rivendell level of like figures, you know? But they just kind of did it, you know? And it's just the build looks okay, but you know, I had the option to buy that set at like, you know, a relatively good discount. I still bought other stuff over it because it just wasn't screaming out to me, you know? And
fair enough.
It's just not a great set in my opinion. I feel like Marvel needs a rebranding or needs a redoing of itself. You know, go back to 2016 where it was like prime.
Yeah, no, I agree. But we could talk all day about construction figures. But up next, there was also some news this week about the next Lego Ideas sets that got accepted for the 10,000. You know, went through after it got 10,000 votes, it went through the review process, and so these were the results for early 2023. The sets going to probably come out. These sets, there's two of them, will come out in 2024. That's going to be Nightmare Before Christmas, which is Disney. And then we also have the London telephone box. That's like the red telephone box.
Speaking of overpriced large sets that no one really wants, I feel like that fits in. Personally, as a large fan of the city of traveling to the city of London, because I've been there like 10 times. Love London. I probably will get this set just because I like it. But, you know, the price will make a difference. And I think that personally it's going to be another overpriced set no one wants.
Yeah, I mean, I really got to see the final products for these two. I mean, I know we have the fan designs, but like it'll really be determined on like what the final set is, what the price is for both of these. Right now I'm still just personally I'm really excited for Lego Ideas that they've announced is the Polaroid camera, and
yeah, I'm excited for that one too.
I'm kind of interested to see what that train. What was the train name? I forget what it was called. It was like an iconic train. It's like the Emerald Knight, but it's not. Anyhow, they announced the
Horizon
train.
Express.
Yes, I think that's it. They announced that last year, so it most likely will come at the end of this year. I think the train and the Polaroid are still up there as some of the idea sets that I'm really excited for. Nightmare Before Christmas, I think, could be really cool. Could be really well done. I think we've gotten the minifigures from Nightmare Before Christmas and the collectible Disney minifigures, right?
I think so, but I really couldn't tell you. I've never been interested in that.
I'm pretty sure we have. So I wonder what they're going to do figure-wise. I wonder if they're just going to use similar concept figures from the collectible minifigures. We'll just wait and see. Again, these are about a year or two away. Probably not 2 years, probably about a year and a half. So we'll see it around this time next year, maybe a little after, maybe more into the spring, summer. Lego Ideas kind of varies in terms of their turnaround time, but it's usually on average about a year plus. So yeah, cool announcements. You know, they're good choices. I'm not, you know, again, I really need to see the final products before I can make any judgments. But you know, I'm not upset. I saw a lot of people upset about the telephone box, saying like, who could care less about that? It's going to sell terribly unless you're living in the UK. And I don't know. I know how important the telephone box are. Just not how important, but how iconic it is. I think there's a lot of people around the world that know it and associate England.
I feel like it'll
it.
sell the worst in the UK, honestly.
Really? That's interesting.
I feel like it won't. I feel like it's going to be an out of the UK better selling item, personally.
Yeah. Well, that kind of wraps up our Lego news. I think, Aaron, you wanted to talk about Lego conventions this week, and well, once we should also talk about there was a convention that we didn't really get to talk to as much in the last episode, which was Atlanta BrixCon. Neither of us went, but we're both kind of regretting that we didn't.
I mean, yeah, I think you're a lot geographically closer than me. For me, it was like a $800 flight, and I was kind of like, yeah, I'm good. So, but I definitely want to go at some point, maybe next year if it works out, or when I move back to the States in 2 years, I'll try going there. But yeah, it definitely seems like a popular convention. From what our friend Blaine from Blaine's World told us about it, who's in the owner of Empire Leg as well, or one of the owners of Empire Leg, he said that it was Brick Fair or Brick World numbers, in the size of a convention, half the size, right? And that's just insane to me. I think that's awesome that there's I guess Atlanta is this large Lego market that they're gonna have this convention in every year.
Yeah, it seems like a big, it replaces that Brick Fair, Alabama spot. I wish Brick Fair, Alabama was never that. I mean, it had its following down there, but it wasn't super popular, like as successful as like Brick World, BrickCon, Brick Fair. But Atlanta Brick Co. was one of. Wait, is that a name of a business or no? Atlanta
Brick was a business, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, I'm getting these confused. But it was very successful when I saw. I had a lot of people saying, a lot of my close friends saying it was like an amazing convention. It just needed a little bit more mocks, but the vendors were pretty good. So I think next year, 2024, I think it's supposed to be around the same time, February of 2024. It's supposed to be. I think it's going to be even bigger. It's going to probably have a huge turnout. It's going to have a lot more. I'm now considering going down there. I think it'd be fun. It's like a 7.5, 8-hour drive to Atlanta from where I am in Virginia.
How long the flight is?
Yeah, so I don't know if I want to. I mean, the flight's really short. I think it's like less than 2 hours. So I could fly down there, but I don't know. I might just take the L and drive. Maybe I'll have. I don't know. Maybe Lee wants to come down with me. We can drive. I know Lee flew there.
He went this year, right?
Yeah, he went this year. My friend Lee. Yeah. You guys know him from Jedi Temple and randomly making appearances in my channel. He's an awesome friend of mine. He told me that he was going down there. I was surprised he did, honestly. But he told me it was a great time. And, I maybe I'll tell him, like, can you just drive with me and we can make like a fun little half-day road trip out of it. So I've heard great things about it. I know there's some other big Lego YouTubers. There's TikTokers there. I think some Lego Master people were there. So, and I think based off the feedback I saw, there's gonna be a lot more people coming next year.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think that it was definitely a shocking convention. So I feel like it'll become, I feel like there's 3 mainline conventions in the U.S. every year. There's plenty of big ones aside of it, but like I think it's Brick World Chicago, Brick Fair Virginia, and I think that this will be the 3rd, Atlanta BrickCon. Yeah, Atlanta BrickCon.
I've never been to it, but there is BrickCon in Seattle that's also pretty big. I always thought this was
so far away.
Yeah, like, I've never gone to it, and I don't know I don't know why, but not many of my friends go to it. But I know it still is a big convention.
Yeah, I think my friend Simon went, but I could be wrong on that. But I just don't. I don't know. It's far. I mean, especially for me, it's even further.
I actually have a bad taste in my mouth about BrickCon. I don't know why, but like, okay, so in my early days of YouTube, I was definitely a different person than I am today. I feel like you grow up, you change, you learn. And the biggest amount of my like haters on YouTube, like people just did not like me. And looking back, for probably decent reasons. I did some stupid things back in the day when I was starting my YouTube channel in like the early 2010s.
Give some examples?
No.
No?
Clone army building in the early days was not my strongest suit, especially by the wording. But
are you going to give out instructions for your custom speeder that you made from clone battle packs, or are you not going to give those out? Because why would you?
We're not going to talk about this right now. But I have learned and moved on, and won't make the same mistakes I did and to be fair, I was literally a young teenager at the time and it was all new. The social media was still a very up and coming thing back then. So it was all new territory for everybody. Nowadays it's much more mature. But anywho, a lot of my haters for some reason were based on would I don't know if they're based, but they would just attend BrickCon. So I didn't have a lot of friends, and the people that I did know didn't like me for some reason. Attended BrickCon. Maybe
wow,
I don't think that's the case anymore, but that was the case, maybe like 8-9 years ago. And so I've just
what
never.
What did you do to piss them off?
That's a part of the reason why I've kind of stayed away from even thinking about going to the convention.
You got ops in Atlanta.
That's kind of left.
Ops in Seattle.
What's that?
You got ops in Seattle. Is that what you're saying?
I think so, but thankfully I got a saving grace though, and I've been to Seattle. I actually have been to Seattle, not for BrixCon, but just to travel there. It's an amazing city. I recommend going there. It's so fun. A lot of great things to do, especially if you go to like Olympic National Park. My saving grace is that my friend Will, who owns Brick Arms, he's invited me out there so many times, and I've been dying to go out there and see his like production facility. I use Brick Arms. I'm not sponsored by Brick Arms' podcast, BrixCast. Maybe one day we'll get Will to sponsor BrixCast, but he's invited me many times to come out and visit him for the day to see his facility. He has a lot of like.
I think that'd be great. Yeah,
I think it would be so much fun because he has a lot of he's got some of the most advanced tooling. Probably not as advanced as what Lego has, but it's up there for molding and making custom Lego compatible weaponry, and I think it'd just be a lot of fun to just hang out with him. So I have been wanting to go back to Seattle, not for BrixCon though, but to see Will, and I know I'm pretty sure I also have some other people that are from the area that I also would like to visit, and I'm sure people listening. Yeah. If you're from the state of Washington or Seattle, I want you to know that I love you, and I know that you don't hate me, or at least I hope you don't hate me.
Nah, every single resident of Washington hates you.
Yep.
Every single one.
They're all out to get me for my comments on Clone Army building.
For the Clone Army project, that's why they hate you.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's the reason right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, what? No, that's a different topic for a different episode, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But anyhow, back to conventions. We have Brick Fair Fredericksburg coming up. It'll be the second. It'll be the first time that Brick Fair has always had other conventions like Brick Fair Alabama. There was Brick Fair New Hampshire, New Jersey. They're always switching it up. But this is the first time this year that they're doing a second convention in Virginia. The Brick Fair, a lot of you know, is in Dulles, which is right next to Washington, D.C. Brick Fair Fredericksburg, which is also in Virginia, I'd say it's a little over an hour from where that convention is in Dulles. And it's actually much closer to where I'm based out of, which is Richmond, Virginia. And so I think it's a 50-minute drive for me. And so it'll be the closest fan Lego convention to me. And so I'm really excited, but I haven't seen that much interest, unfortunately. So it might be a dead convention. We'll see. But I'm going to go there. I think I'm going to try to get Geonosis, at least the battle sections. Like I just finished the barrier wall, and I'm working on the flamethrower section next. If I can get that whole mountain section, and putting the battle together won't be that hard, but I might be able to bring a good portion of the mock to Brick Fair Fredericksburg, and then hopefully by Brick Fair Virginia later this year in August, I can bring the entire Geonosis mock with the finished droid factory. So I'm thinking I will maybe bring at least a portion of Geonosis to Fredericksburg, but we'll see. Are you gonna meet me there, Aaron? Are you coming to Fredericksburg? And this is also in March. It's in March. It's in
March.
March 26th, I think.
Oh, I'm going to the States in April, so maybe I'll take a time machine. I don't know. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. It's just I'm already flying to the States twice this year, so I don't really want to make it a third time a month before I go. So
no, that makes sense. It's okay.
I'll see you at Chicago and Virginia.
Yeah, we'll meet up. We'll have.
Hey, I'm going to Brick Rodeo. The best Lego convention.
I have PTSD from going to Brick Rodeo and helping out Jay, and I love you, Jay. If you're listening, I love you to death. But man, you put me through hell and back.
No, Jay told me when I was at his place.
Put that Star Killer base together, man. Oh my god.
Jay told me when we were at his place. Jay and Shane, who are two of David and I's good mutual friends, told me about how like horrible that process was of driving back and forth in the convention center to his house, and building into the night, and also just being delirious, and then even worse, they had to drive back to Virginia, which is just
It didn't help that some of the convention, I don't know, the volunteers or people who run the Lego convention at Brick Rodeo, I keenly remember us, we were late, we didn't even get there until Saturday. Most people set up on a Thursday. We didn't even get get to Brick Rodeo. I think it was either Friday night or Saturday morning. I'm pretty sure, maybe it was Friday night, but it was much later than the average person sets up their mock for a Lego convention. And I remember we were showing up. It was me, Shane, Jay, I think it was the three of us. We walk in, and the first thing that one of these people from Brick Rodeo say is like, "Oh, finally." And I was just like, do you know how much we have spent like 13 hours for the last 2 days, so like 26 hours of just constantly building Lego and trying to get, and we at this point, we still hadn't even finished Starkiller. Like, got a lot done, but it was still a lot more to do. And I was telling Jay, like, I don't think we're going to get all this done, man. And he was very persistent about finishing his mock. He's like, this is going to be my only chance to finish this. I'm going to do it. And he actually ended up doing like, I think 2 all-nighters. It was crazy. I couldn't do all-nighter. I was like, bro,
that was before I knew Jay.
I told Jay, I was like, I cannot sign up for all-nighters. Like, what I had thought I was flying out to Texas for to help him with was just to simply bring the mock from point A to point B and help him set it up at the convention. I did not fly out thinking that I was going to physically be building and helping him finish the mock at his house prior to bringing it to the convention. Then even what we ended up doing is we brought as much as we could, and then the rest had to be built at the convention. And that sometimes happens at Lego convention. Usually you see collabs, sometimes they build stuff at the convention, but this was on another scale. It was just like, and it became too much for me. And, maybe one day I'll explain the full story, but that's the gist of it. But I will always remember that Brick Rodeo employee just giving us the nastiest attitude for being late and not understanding that we were literally like blood, sweat, and tears putting as much as we can get this thing together to get it to this one convention. It was unprofessional is what it was.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because what I was going to say before you started was this last year, Brick Rodeo, because I went there with Jay in 2022, which it was held in Austin, and I kind of live in Austin, so I was there for it. I was obviously going there. And Jay brought whatever he had built of his Camino mock at this point, which I think was just a quarter of one of the domes, which, that's not insane, but it's still like, it's a massive part of this mock, right? Like, it's not tiny by any stretch, and it wasn't finished yet. And he told the event organizers that explicitly. And, he didn't say anything about this, but personally, what I noticed was, like, throughout the entire setup process of the convention, first of all, Brick Rodeo kind of screwed us on the Star Wars display. They gave us 2 tables on either side of a tiny little alleyway. The alleyway is, like, as wide as a chair is the in between the 2 tables, and that's where you put the mocks on the 2 tables. And just a bad setup overall. The quality of build there was definitely not on level with any European convention. I'm sorry if I'm sounding like a Euro snob right now, but sorry, they were not comparable at all, personally. But Jay brought whatever he had of his Camino walk, and the amount of times people, not even the event organizers, but just people that are attending the convention in general, came up to Jay and was like, in the joking attitude of, "Oh, are you done yet? Oh, you gonna finish this one on time this time?" And like, it'd be fine if it was 1 or 2 people. It was like a multiplicity of people every single day. Even when he wasn't at the build, they would come up to him and ask him, like, if we were out in the lobby of the hotel getting a drink or whatever, or sitting with our friends, they'd be like, "Oh, you finished the mock yet?" And it's like, that's just rude.
It's so disrespectful. I can't believe.
Yeah.
I can't. It's just. It aggravates me to no end that there's Lego community member or event organizers that have this mindset of like, the mock should absolutely be done and be ready day, like the first day we open the convention. Like, that ideally, yeah, I guess, sure, it could be, yeah, that's what most mocks should be like. But like the scale that Jay makes his mocks, and I understand this. I build mocks somewhat to his scale. He goes above and beyond, even further than what I do. And, I understand the amount of work that goes into these things. And Jay, he never lets people like push his buttons. He just kind of takes it. And I sit, it almost makes me really upset, actually. It does make me really upset that I can't believe people would say that. And so hopefully people listening to the podcast, if you ever hear people disrespecting other Lego builders simply because they are trying to finish their hard work on their own creation, politely tell them to stop.
If you ever hear anybody disrespecting anybody's build, period, regardless what you think of the quality of that build, which I know is super comparable because not 2 minutes ago did I just say the quality of the build there was lesser, but then I should be, told off for that too. But, criticizing anybody's build for any reason at all, I think, unless it's a friend who asks for criticism, of course, but I just think that's none of your business. And, this hobby should be supportive in every possible way. And just the way that they talked to Jay was so, I don't want to say demeaning, but in a sense it was demeaning, right? And it was just kind of like infuriating to listen to it. And
Yeah.
I don't recall right now if we spoke about it. I don't want to speak for him, but I can't think that he enjoyed it or even if he noticed it at all. But I know that personally, I did not like that at all. And I'm going to be going to Brick Rodeo again this year, provided no one listen to this podcast from Brick Rodeo, because I don't think I will be going. But I'm trying to go this year, but I'm literally going to be going for the sole purpose that Jay is going, and then it's just another weekend to hang out with Jay. And if he doesn't go, I'm not going to go. Like, that's the way it is at this point. That convention is so ultra mid, it's not even comparable to the other ones.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot. I know there's a lot of great people that do put on the Brick Rodeo show, and then there's a lot of great builders that attend there. So I don't want to completely dismiss this convention. And unfortunately, Jay and I, and then you too, Aaron, we've all experienced, some hiccups is what I would call it. And it seems to be reoccurring every now and again.
Yeah.
And I don't want to disrespect anybody. This doesn't apply to the entire convention. This doesn't apply to every event organizer at the convention. Unfortunately, there's some odd ones out.
I think that's kind of like, I guess it's human nature in that sense, right? There's always going to be, a-holes, whatever you do, and it's frustrating. It's good to talk about it, but you shouldn't let that determine your experience. So if you live in Texas and Houston this year specifically, and you want to go to a convention, obviously please go. It's going to be, any Lego convention is fun, even if there is people there who make it less fun. But yeah, I don't know. It's just the way they talk to Jay, I guess for you too, was just, to me, unacceptable and just rude. And yeah, I don't know. It was just, it's a Lego convention. Calm down, right? You don't got to be this pretentious about it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah. So on the complete flip side of that, Aaron, I think you wanted to talk about how great Lego conventions are and why you should go to them.
Right. Funny enough, that I don't know why is it funny enough. I have nowhere to go with that, but yeah, no. So I'm about to caveat everything I just said with Lego conventions are probably some of the single best interactions I've had they are the single best interactions I've had in the community ever. I never, and I don't want to say that this will be a universal experience for everybody. I don't think everybody's always had an amazing time at every convention. I know that last Brick Fair I got sick about halfway through, and that made it miserable, combined with the fact that I was basically the photography model for the entirety of Empire Lug, which that was a joke, but also you got a camera in your face for 3 days, you get kind of annoyed. But conventions are just amazing. I mean, I can't express how great Lego conventions are. If you have the opportunity to go to any convention, regardless of where you're in the world, because I know they're all over the world, just go to it. It's best if you have a friend you can go with. I know that not everybody is lucky enough to unfortunately have Lego friends, but you can meet people there. It is such a great place to meet people. I cannot, I met JB, the designer of the BTS set. I met him at Brick World last year. I've been at Brick Fair the year 2021. And, I wouldn't say we're best friends, obviously, but, I'd consider us, friends to that sense. And it's just amazing what a Lego convention can do for you as a person. And what it's done for me as an individual is just outstanding. I mean, I wouldn't know David if it wasn't for Lego conventions. I wouldn't know Jay if it wasn't for Lego conventions. I wouldn't know, most people I interact with on a daily basis, I really would not know too much if it weren't for Lego conventions. And that's just, it's amazing because it's translated from, either online friendships to in-person at convention or convention friendships to online friendship that's become a real life friendship. I've gone to Jay's house now for a reason other than Lego convention because, we're just friends now. And it's super amazing what Lego conventions can do because it's just like a group of people who love the same thing and they love it as much as you love it, which you never think is possible before you go to a convention because, oh, I love this product so much, or you're a huge Lego fan. I guess that was my mindset as a kid. I'm kind of rambling here, but Lego conventions are great. I don't want to discourage anybody of what we just said about Brick Rodeo. That was individuals, not the conventions. I mean, they're just overall an amazing experience. They've changed my life for the greater. I mean, I make it a yearly appointment now that I will fly to the States if I'm not living there to go to these conventions. I mean, it's the highlight of my summer, if not my year, and it's just astounding what they can provide to you, as an individual. And I will say that personally, because I know who I was when I was under 18 years old, which was annoying, very annoying. I'm very happy I waited until I was 18. So if you are younger and you have that nervousness, I guess, about yourself, and you think it would be good or better to wait till you're 18, I'd recommend to wait till you're 18. Because genuinely speaking, if I had gone to a Lego convention when I was like 12, which is when I was planning to go to Brick Fair for the first time, guaranteed I would not have any of the friends I have now. Because they would have just been the epitome of cringe and the epitome of annoying kid at a Lego convention, right? So I think that if you want to go to a convention, look up, try finding people you can go with. You join a Discord server, join a chat group. I don't know if those are things anymore, but try engaging in a meaningful way, and try, if you're a Lego fan, even if you're a small Lego fan, even if you have like 2 or 3 sets, try going to a Lego convention. Just try ingraining yourself into this hobby and making it so much better. Conventions are just probably one of the best parts about Lego hobby, Lego collecting, I guess.
And just to add on to that, personally, Aaron, I think 16 is a better age choice than 18. I think if you're 16 and older, I think you're going to have a really great time. Even if you are younger, I think if you're younger, I think you'd enjoy the public days younger than 16, especially if you're really young. If you're like under 12, I think you're better off to just going with your parents or your guardian to the convention for public days. But if you're ready for that next step, I think if you're in like the 15, 16 age range or up, I think going to the convention for the exhibitor days is going to be game changing. Like Aaron said, you're going to meet so many people. I met Aaron at the conventions. I've met literally almost all of my close Lego friends are through conventions. And Matt's a great example. The Brick Whiz. We started talking kind of on his YouTube channel. I remember I would bump into his live streams and we started talking. And it wasn't until later that year that we physically met each other at Brick Fair, really got talking, had lunch, dinner, hung out with all these other friends that we really became really close friends. It's the same case with Jay. It's the same case with Lee. It's the same case with you, Aaron. Once you either you have that early interaction online and solidify it by seeing them at the convention, or vice versa, where you meet someone at the convention and then you have this connection that you can continue to keep up with through online. It becomes this event to go to these conventions and then to see each other, especially if you're living, states, countries away. It really brings the Lego community together in a way that you would otherwise never be able to do. The closest thing, I guess, locally you could do is if you have a Lego users group or a lug. But if you're in a niche community, Bionicle or Lego Star Wars or whatever it might be, going to these conventions, you can find those niche communities and just make some of the best friends that honestly live on for years and years. And I've made friends now that have gone a decade plus through Lego conventions. And so, like Aaron said, it is truly an unmatched community experience that you can't really get anywhere else outside of it.
I will say also, I don't want to caveat again, for me, okay, because I know who I was when I was under 18. I'm glad I waited till I was 18. I'm not saying that's a universe. I've met plenty of 16-year-olds from Empire Lug who are, mature, 17-year-olds, 16, 17-year-olds. Plenty of people exist that are that age and are mature. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for myself, I was not. So that's what I meant. But I wasn't. I'd encourage anybody to come if they feel like they're, willing and able to put the effort forth to do that, I guess.
I think for the younger audience listening, I think the easiest way you'll know whether you're ready for Brick Fair exhibitor days is if you can get through group work and you're at school. If you can get through working in a group and being able to talk to one another and it not being super awkward or something like that, and because usually group work was paired with random people that you're not really associated with. If you're okay with talking and getting through group work in school, I think you're ready for Brick Fair exhibitor days and meeting new people and talking. And I think that's the easiest way to know whether you're personally ready or not.
I agree. I think that's a good threshold, and I think that it's just, I don't know. It's definitely, it's great. I think that there is obviously with any gathering of hundreds of maybe even thousands of people, there will be drama or there will be issues, but I feel like that just kind of comes with regular friendships too.
I'm kind of glad we talked about the Brick Rodia situation, kind of got the bad out of the way, and now we're talking about the really good side of it. I mean, there'll be...
And obviously...
go ahead. There'll be thorns. There'll be, you'll on the occasion, you'll step on that brick and it'll hurt. But most of the time, thank you. Most of the time, you were just having the time of your life. Excuse me.
Yeah, and what I was trying to say is there is drama, right? And there will be drama. You can obviously choose to remove yourself from that, but sometimes it's harder if you have a friend who's involved in it or you're involved in it. But I think that even with all the negatives that you could possibly think of in LEGO community or LEGO conventions as a concept, that the positives just so heavily outweigh any of the negatives at all. I just I constantly think back to Scalping too. Scalping was a convention that David went to in Denmark, and I was going to with a bunch of my local European friends as well. And that convention alone, there's so many different things I did over that 7-day span that I think about now. What is it? 5 months later, 6 months later, that I still think about as just fond, amazing memories. And the same was for Brick World, and the same is for Brick Fair. And I can't express how excited I am for Brick World this year, because I'm doing another road trip with Jay, which could be seen as stressful because it's 16 hours in one day. But that's just part of the journey to the convention. And I just can't express how much I love LEGO conventions, how much I love the people I've met at LEGO conventions.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're trying to level up your LEGO community experience, that sounds kind of weird, you should really try go to a convention.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. And on that note, I think this is a great little segue to our ending. So we'll be back next week for episode 3 here on the BrixCast YouTube channel. We'll should be on all the other platforms where you can find a podcast: Apple Music, Spotify.
I think we're gonna get that done.
Not Apple Music, Apple Podcasts.
3,
yeah. We're trying to. If it's not already up, it should be up shortly. So you can follow on those platforms. You can subscribe here on the YouTube channel, wherever you get your podcast. You should be able to find BrixCast. So, and let us know, guys. We want some feedback. And Aaron, I didn't even tell you this, but if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, why don't you leave us a comment down in the description, and we can maybe answer that in the next podcast. And maybe it's a topic you want us to talk about. Maybe it's just something you have to talk about, the topic we were talking about today, or it could be whatever. Just leave us a comment. Maybe we'll reply to it next week. Might be a fun little interaction with fans.
Leaving a comment, regardless if it's positive or negative, will be helpful. I mean, if you hate this, please tell us why you hate this, and that will be helpful, even if you don't think it is. So,
yeah,
I think any feedback will be great if you guys want to provide it. We don't know how successful or how reactive David's audience will be, because that is what it is, let's be honest, to this form of content. But I'm excited to see if it can go any further. We hope you guys like this double episode drop we did. That was a relatively impromptu idea, but I think it'll be good to give you the sense of, because I know that this episode I sounded a lot less awkward than I did last episode, so I hope that it's better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, I don't know, I'm excited to see if this can go and this can progress. Obviously, if it does, I'm here for the ride. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think David is too. And yeah, I mean, just let us know what you think, and see y'all next week.
See you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye. We just wanted to again give our good friend Oscar and our editor now a quick shout out. If you're looking for Lego Star Wars figure pieces, Lego Star Wars figures, just Lego pieces in general, be sure to check out his bricking store. It's Mr. Bricktastic. You can also go to mrbricktastic.com to check out all the amazing stuff he has. You can go through the fast checkout process of Bricklink, and get some great parts from our good friend Oscar. Thanks again for helping us.